Hey guys, it's Lindsay from Wannabe KY Homesteaders, and we are going to do our May yard tour. So there's definitely a lot more color than last year. I'm sorry, last month, not last year. Probably more than last year too. But we have most of our annuals potted up. We have lots of these Supertunias. I found these hanging pots at Dollar Tree, and we decided to add some Supertunias to those. I have saved the tags for now, or I'm sorry, Super Bells, Supertunias, kind of the same thing. So then that way we know exactly what we have. At some point I'll take these tags out and I'm gonna put them into my little binder. So through here we have more of these arrangements, and we have some of our potted up stuff. Definitely a lot more color on them than there originally was. And soon we're gonna start our weekly fertilizing. And as you see through here, we have a bunch of stuff we still need to plant. We have fruit trees, we have more annuals, we have cut flowers, we have different arrangements we need to do. It has been a very odd spring. So we have had some cooler weather, even had a chance of frost a little bit later. So we have not planted everything yet. So right here we have a whole bunch of stuff that we also need to get planted. We placed an order with Proven Winners and we got some stuff, but you guys will see that in an upcoming video. And we have some shrubs that we also, and evergreens that we need to get planted, but again, you will see that in another video. So then hopefully in the next yard tour, this area will be cleaned out a little bit, but I just love the colors of these wave petunias. So over here, we have some stuff coming up. We have some echinacea, we have a lily, we still have some of our evergreens, not a whole lot of color yet, but as you see, there's definitely room for us to add some stuff. We took out a rose over here, so I would really like to try to fill up the sides of our bed this year. So this one is pretty much sun all day, every day, so we have to be pretty careful with what we select just because we want something to be able to tolerate the sun, and apparently the rose could not tolerate the sun very well. So our peach trees are still growing. They are looking really good. We still have peaches. We did get spray, the Captain Jack's fruit tree spray that we're going to start spraying 4 times a year just to keep pests off, and hopefully we'll get some peaches this year. So through here you can see a lot more color. Definitely a lot of stuff has grown up since the last video. So we have some of our salvia, our echinacea that's coming back, our lamb's ear looks good. And believe it or not, I also cut on this brown-eyed Susan. We gave quite a bit away. Our irises are kind of coming to the end here. They will still have this light green foliage throughout the year, which is pretty. I have cut it down in the past, but I think this year I'm going to leave it just so I can work on planting annuals in the beds, which I've never done before. So, and I love how big this aster is getting. I'm probably going to shear it back at least once this year, just because last year it got very large and it started wilting over. Again, it's been kind of an odd spring, so I want to see how things really grow and produce before I start cutting things back. Also, look at the size of this lamb's ear. Like last year, it was just a small little piece, and now it's like way bigger. So some of our sedum that we moved throughout here, I literally didn't even bury it or like dig it down. I just set it on top of the mulch pretty much, and it's had no issues rooting in. So at some point I'm gonna need to take some more and try to keep spreading it down, just because I would like it as a thin kind of like weed barrier, something low. My hope is to one day have this so full that no weeds grow in it. However, we do still have some stuff that we need to get dug out. That rose, excuse me, did not make it. So now we only have 1 rose, which I'm kind of sad about, but sometimes it's just how it goes. So through here is very similar stuff, some echinacea, some sedum, a weed. I pull weeds often, but we still have bunches of them. And this year I decided to do less on our porch in terms of annuals and having stuff. I wanted some stuff that was a little bit lower maintenance. And there's Miss Daphne, who is very upset she's not partaking in this. So through here and a little bit on the other side too, just because we want to have them matching but not the exact same, we are going to add some hydrangeas up here. They're going to be bigger. They're going to add kind of like that wow factor, I hope. So we have a few plants that we will be moving around. We've had some chrysanthemums back here. However, unfortunately, not all of them have come back. Um, in Kentucky, it's hit or miss if those will come back. Typically, if you can get them down and into the ground at least 5 weeks before frost, they will come back. However, I honestly think it really depends on your climate and how harsh the winter is on if they come back or not. Look at that salvia. So salvia is another one that we cut back every year very aggressively. This year I really want to have to do less kind of like maintenance in the beds just because it has been so busy between work and different projects we have going on. So I think I'm probably just going to shear them back once or twice, and I'm just going to cut the whole thing back instead of individually trying to cut off each bloom, because that takes a very, very long time. So this is one of the other plants we got from Lowe's that was in an inch of its life. We just plopped it into the ground, gave it some consistent water. It is some form of lamb's ear. I believe it is going to bloom this year. Not entirely sure what it will be, but it should be pretty. And Miss Daphne has now moved to the next window to try to partake in this, and she'll probably follow us to another window if I had to guess. So through here, not a whole lot going on right now. We don't have any more peonies blooming. This is one of the other areas that we took out some plants, and we're definitely going to add some back in. This is another sort of lily that I had gotten on discount last year. The tag was not with it, so I believe I got it for $1, and they did not know what color it was supposed to be, so it's going to be kind of a surprise this year to see what color it is. So I'm very sad that we only had one bloom this year. We have another one back here. Not sure if it will actually bloom, but the fact that we got one bloom off of them this year is pretty amazing because we've not had blooms on them since we transplanted them. So this spot I hope to add something to. At some point we will have a fence post back here, so we have to be mindful with whatever we plant because eventually there's going to be a fence through here, so I have room on either side, but I don't want to plant anything just yet that's going to be super big and large just because we need to put this fence in. Oh, she followed us again. So we've definitely not worked on our fairy gardens yet. Hopefully in the coming weeks we will. We do have 2 fairy gardens. However, one is being overwintered at my mom's house. Through here, things are looking pretty good. I still need to find some sort of evergreen that I want here. Not sure what that's going to be. I'm kind of moving away from boxwoods just because they're just not always, I guess, prolific here. Like, they don't necessarily bloom, but they don't like flourish, and they don't necessarily look good. So I want something that's going to be a little bit easier, that's kind of a guarantee that it'll stay alive and work really well. So over here, some of the potted arrangements, they've gotten a little bit bigger, not much. Again, we've had iffy weather, so we've not consistently been able to keep them uncovered just because, again, it's beginning below freezing or we've had frost. So I keep everything together just so it's easier to cover. And right over here, this clematis still wins and steals the show every time. And here is Miss Daphne in her last window. She's not very talkative now. So now we will switch over to the garden. So here is our lettuce bed. It is doing really well. We've been starting to eat some salads and stuff from it. Definitely need to keep eating salads because we need to get some of our other stuff planted, and this is going to have all of our herbs in it. So over here we have a lot of our onions. They're doing really good. We've been getting some volunteer tomatoes. However, I do not want my tomatoes in this bed since last year they had such bad blight. Our carrots look fantastic. They're very large, and I've seen mixed reviews on thinning them out and not thinning them out. Some people do not, and they have great success. However, I did mean to plant my carrots in this other bed where we have even more onions just because it's softer and deeper soil. However, I just got a little excited planting, so that didn't happen. But we do have our potatoes here. They got nipped by the frost a little bit, but they look fine. I should be perfectly fine. I think I only had one plant that did not come up, so that's pretty good. Hopefully these guys will keep getting bigger. Last year I pulled them a little bit too early. I should have waited till the stalks died. So this year we're going to wait until these stalks die and start falling over before we harvest these potatoes. So over here is our strawberry bed. We've had a few ripe strawberries. However, we keep having birds get into them. We do have these rocks that are painted as strawberries. However, they do not seem to be helping too much at the moment. I'm going to try to move some of them around maybe and see if that helps, and they'll think more of these are fake. So we might need to get some netting or something. I mean, they're just taking these things like clear off. Through here, we have all of our larkspur. So finally, some of them have bloomed. We didn't have as much larkspur as I had hoped, but they're still very pretty, and we should get lots of seeds and hopefully get some more of them next year. I keep hoping we'll get pink larkspur, but not yet. And our first volunteer sunflower. But we do have some more larkspur through here, which I think is very pretty. I love it because it's an early bloomer and they just drop seed and keep coming back. So through here is going to be sunflowers again. However, since we just put cardboard down and mulch down from this post over to here, probably won't have anything. We didn't add any compost or anything underneath it. So we are definitely going to wait on this side before we start planting, which is okay because we still need to kind of get things under control with like the grass growing through and whatnot. But we do have our post ready so we can tie up some plants if needed. Here is one of our other arrangements. I love how this trails over. I had a very similar one last year. I think I had like a sweet potato vine, so instead of that, I plucked this grass. So these spikes, which I thought were fun. And I have 2 of the sedum that we started. So hopefully this will get bigger in the next couple days, couple weeks. It's actually grown quite a bit. So over here we have our grapes are now getting a little bit bigger. They are definitely mixing in with the blackberries, but we have so many blackberries. This thing is just packed, which makes me super excited and happy. Last year I did blackberry jam. It was really good. Definitely going to have some more of that this year. Not sure what we're going to do with all these grapes because we have a lot. Definitely some grape jam or jelly. Same with the strawberries if we have enough. And we'll pretty much have 2 waves of blackberries. So we'll have this first one, and then the second one over here doesn't get quite as much sun, so it happens a little bit later. And we have one more little potted arrangement here. Some wave petunias. That sedum's looking a little rough. I might pull that sedum out and put one more of the wave petunias. So over here we have our 1 climbing rose. Last video it was looking pretty rough. I thought it maybe needed iron, but it seems to have bounced back. I'm not really sure what the issue was. But we also have our blueberries, a chamomile, another blueberry, and our raspberries. Next year I think I'm going to start taking some of the raspberry leaves and drying them for teas. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and I will catch you guys on the next one.